Y'all, it is a rainy, kind of dreary day, but I have a little extra time. I'm doing some errands here in the area, and I thought, what if I just popped into a thrift store and see if there's anything that I can find that would make a good crochet flip? So, yes, taking something existing and adding some crochet to it, or using crochet to change it and make it more personalized, more unique, maybe even more functional. I have a couple of ideas of what I want to look for. And so, yeah, let's just go on in and see what we can find. All right, y'all, I am back from the thrift store, back from doing my errands, and you're probably wondering, what did I come away with? Well, before I show you what I actually got, which photos have probably given you a big clue, I do want to say my first thought was to find like a canvas tote bag or some kind of like zipper pouch that was made of fabric that would be easy to like make a crocheted piece around it and then like stitch it to it. So kind of like use the bag as the lining for the crochet. Unfortunately, that is not what I found. Instead, I found a skirt. And I went with this skirt because it has all of these holes in it. And that's really not my style, to have that kind of hole all over the place. There's a bunch of them. I don't know if I'll deal with the ones on the pockets on the back or not. Maybe I will. But yeah, there's a little bit of wear there. There's some down at the hem. The hem is pretty raggedy. But yeah, the main pieces here are these two kind of large spaces right over the thighs and then down a little bit closer to the hem. So three main chunks, well, maybe four main chunks right there. And I think what I want to do is use acrylic. And here's my reasoning. This skirt is 100% cotton. That's one of the reasons that I chose it, other than the fact that it fit well. It's $5.99, which is what it is. Thrift store prices have gone up recently, but for 100% cotton, and it actually is not a bad brand. It's Hollister, so kind of a young people brand. I remember back in my day when I was young, Hollister was the new thing. But of course, that is no longer the case. So anyhow, since it's cotton and since it's come from a thrift store, I am fairly confident that this has already gone through the wash and it has already shrunk. So what I don't want to do is add in any kind of crochet that is going to be wool or cotton, anything that's going to shrink. I want this to be practical because it is denim. It is kind of casual, and with my lifestyle, everything pretty much needs to be washable. I don't really want to do like hand wash that often, right? And I definitely don't want to dry clean only. So I have a whole bunch of kind of acrylic scraps, and I'm thinking the other thing is, this is a denim that's like a light blue. It's one of my summer season colors. And so what if I just used scraps like this or small balls like this, and I started filling in these holes with crochet. So I have that kind of light blue, I have that kind of tan, I could do like muted pink in there. I actually have quite a bit of variety of things that I could do that I think would work really well in that space. I could add in some variegated brown, and it would keep it still on that neutral side of things. This is not going to be easy to see, but I think it could give a little bit of fun. There's a lot that I could do with that. Even if I wanted to, maybe I could bring in some green and do like some little flowers maybe. Hope y'all can see that. But just these pinks, blues, kind of creams and browns. I think that would be really pretty as a way to take a honestly not very modest skirt and bring it to life with crochet. So I'm not sure how that's all gonna come to be. I'm gonna have to get creative, But yeah, I will catch up with you in the next little bit of this process. All right, so here is the skirt, and I think the first thing I need to do is get a sense of these shapes. So here's the pocket. I guess I can try to lay that flat, but you see how that's kind of a unique shape there. I'm gonna take some kind of thin paper and see if I can just kind of trace a basic outline of that on here. And this will kind of give me something to work with, because I have two sort of ideas of what I can do. Number one, I could crochet like right onto this fabric. Like I could start crocheting around here, or I could crochet pieces to match this and like applique it on. So like I could do like a flower that's big enough to cover this. Let's see here, that would be the left pocket. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do, what approach I'm gonna take. This will be the left side. That's basically it. And I don't know if I'm going to crochet along the edge or just leave that kind of frayed. I could trim that up and make like a crocheted edging. There's so many beautiful crochet edgings that I could do, but I'm not sure. Not sure if that's the direction I want to go. Okay, moving on. This one here, it's so frayed. It's so frayed, it needs help. That's definitely more rounded. And it's okay if these are not exact, because again, I'm just kind of gonna get an idea. This is the right thigh. And then we'll move over and get this shape here. I could have used like tissue paper or something like that, but this is, I think this is actually some origami paper. It's just what was easily to hand without having to really dig for it. So yay for the moms and the random art supplies. Okay, so yeah, I have a couple of thoughts. There are so many wonderful like patterned crochet stitches. So I could like start here, and I could just like attach here and just start crocheting back and forth against this and fill in this whole space. The question also is, do I want to keep these kind of raggedy places here or not? Or maybe what I'll do, maybe if I do a whole applique and then afterwards I can go back in and trim it off after I've sewn an applique down. So yeah, that's kind of my starting point. I do actually need to wash this, so I'll go ahead and do that. I don't think I'm really gonna bother. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll do a little bit of this. So that would be so right pocket. Yeah, I'll do this side too, because I might want to have just a little bit over here. This is really not precise at all. And I might, I don't know, back, do these couple of back areas, because there's some really wonderful like teeny tiny appliques as well that I could do. What do y'all think? If this were your challenge, what would you do? Would you kind of make some crochet pieces and sew them on? Or do you think you would kind of crochet directly onto the garment itself? What do y'all think? There's no real right or wrong way to go about this, I think. Okay, so that's what I have. Now I can really start working and imagining and getting my hooks in my yarn and seeing what I come up with. Folks, I thought I would give an update. Now here's the skirt. I realized that maybe it actually hadn't been sent through the wash, because I did wash it and it curled up like this. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But I do know now that it has been pre-shrunk. But yeah, I wanted to show you what I've done so far. So I cut out, or rather I drew these, and I started trying to just play with some different stitches and try to cover up these places using that worsted weight yarn. The problem I'm running into is I think that this worsted weight yarn is just too thick for the effect that I want. This denim is actually quite thin. It is not super sturdy. It's made by a company that's more like fast fashion, you know, not really meant to last. So that's fine. It's okay that it's a thinner denim, but I just think that this worsted weight is not gonna match up very nicely. So I think what I need to do is look for like a sport weight at the very most, maybe even a fingering weight, and try to match these colors. Now, the problem could very well be that I'm not gonna be able to match the color because there's not as many options when it comes to 100% acrylic in a fingering weight. But Lion Brand does have a yarn. I think it's like mandala string, something like that. And I know that Hobby Lobby carries it. And I think that this might be a 30% off week. So I think I'm gonna try over there, and it probably won't match this exactly, but I do wanna make sure I am going with an acrylic because again, I want this to be super practical and washable. The other thing is I have this cowl and I've been trying to finish it, and I played Yarn Chicken and I lost. So this is a fingering weight yarn and it's a wool, but I'm wondering maybe I can kill two birds with one stone. Maybe I can find something that is similar enough to these colors, and then if I added that back into this skirt, maybe it wouldn't be too jarring, or maybe there would even be like some self-striping areas where like part of it would match in here and part of it would match here. We'll see. I did do a quick search just to look at the colorways available, so I have hope. But y'all, wish me luck, because I really do think that this is going to be a fun project. And I am enjoying the process. Like you can see right here, just playing around with some different stitch textures. I do want to make sure that I don't have holes, which in crochet is pretty hard to achieve. Even like your standard double crochets can have holes. So I was trying to mitigate that by doing like half doubles, doing some back and front loops to give a little ribbing effect. I really did like how this was turning out, where I was double crocheting two together, and that made it really thick, but it does eat more yarn. But then again, I'm not really going to require a whole lot of yarn for this project anyway, because these are just little patches essentially that I'm making. I also realized that doing the front or back post, it does create some nice ridges, but that might be too thick, right? It's definitely thicker there, and that's not really gonna flow so well with, again, this lighter weight denim. So I'm gonna go see what I can find in terms of that acrylic mandala, and if I can't find anything there, then I might either go to my local Yarny thrift store, or I may even go out to one of my fancier local yarn shops. There's as at time of recording, I can think of 3 different ones in the Nashville area that I could get to within 30 minutes. So that's not necessarily my preference. I would rather thrift. I'd rather go somewhere a little bit closer. But if I need to, that's what I'll do. So I will catch up with you in this next part. Change of plans, y'all. Instead of going over to Hobby Lobby to see what I could find, I decided to come over to my local Yarny crafty thrift store, Smart Arts and Crafts. I realized I had some other things that I wanted to get for some other projects as we are getting closer to the holidays. And the best thing that I could do is just go and kill as many birds with one stone as I could. No birds were harmed in the making of this video. So I'm gonna go in and see what I can find, and hopefully I'll get what I need to work on this skirt. So wish me luck. It is snowing. Just as an aside, I did come out of Smart Arts and Crafts. I ended up getting crochet thread. Now, I have worked with crochet thread in the past. I'm not intimidated by it. This is a little worse for wear. There's a little bit of staining on there, but that's fine. There's plenty of it. This was 50 cents. So I think it's gonna work out all right. I'm pretty sure it will be fine. So now I'm gonna actually go and start working on making these crochet patches so that I can have a skirt to wear. I am overdue for updating y'all on this project, and one of the things that I want to make sure I tell you guys is that this project has become now a Christmas project. Why? Well, we have several different little Christmas parties that we do from time to time, and some of them come with a dress code. So one of the Christmas parties that we're going to this year, the dress code is Cowboy Christmas. So since this project is already ongoing, I was like, what if I just push myself to finish, and that way I can wear this like little denim skirt to the Christmas party. I'm close to being done. I always say that. I'm close to being done, but also, you know, I use YouTube to hold myself accountable to actually finishing things. Sometimes y'all will say in the comments that my channel is misnamed because I get so much done. That's the joy of having a YouTube channel, is I'm kind of reporting back to people about what I've actually completed, and it does help me keep going on these projects that maybe I would abandon otherwise. I will tell you, it is tempting to abandon this one just because I am using thread. But let me show you kind of where we're at, and within about 7 days, this ought to be done. Okay, so I started with the easy ones, which are these patches over the leg, and I just kind of did a couple of different stitch patterns, maybe using some back loops only. Slightly different there, did a little bit of a ruffle edge as well. And then for these top ones, I didn't have the skirt with me. I was like in line waiting or something, or in the car line, whatever. I was waiting in the car, and I had grabbed my illustrations. And so for one of them, I started using that illustration to help me make the shape. So I think it was going like this. And so then for this one, I was doing like a circle with some cross double crochets, and then I decided to try linked treble crochets the correct way, or Tunisian simple stitch. So I've been working that around, and I haven't been attaching this as I go the same way that I did these on the legs, because it was getting pretty cumbersome. But you see, I now have an embroidery hoop over this. So I don't know at what point this thought occurred, but it was a really good thought. I decided, since I'm not really willing to cut these threads because they are kind of helping keep the patch shape in place, I decided to attach an embroidery hoop. And it's not, you know, it's not perfectly on there, but I think it's going to make it a lot easier as I go in. And like from here on out, how did I have it? From here on out, I'm going to be stitching it as I go. So like slip stitching into the denim fabric and then continuing to build around. And then at the end, I'll leave myself a long tail and I'll just stitch that, or maybe like slip stitch, like surface crochet through it to attach it. So I have this main patch to do, and then I have that main patch to do. Those are on the front. I don't think I'm gonna worry about the back so much because it's just those little bits there. But yeah, I have about 7 days, maybe 6 days to get this done. And maybe I'll run it through the wash real quick, like on the gentle cycle, just because I want that to kind of relax down some. And I'll see what it's like when it's on. So I will catch back up with y'all when I have more of an update. Y'all, it is high time we put this project to bed. I started this project, now spoilers, I'm done at this point, I finished it. But I started this project in the fall, and here it is January. It's taken me several months to just have the motivation to work on this project, but I did finally complete it thanks to the winter storm that hit the southeast of the United States. And yeah, it's the end of January in 2026, and I have it done. So here is what I ended up doing. Let me just show you. Here's the skirt, and you'll see I have several different kinds of panels here. Now, some of them I did almost as patches, like I crocheted a piece and then sewed it on. Those were the easiest to do for some of these shapes. I just couldn't for the life of me get my hook around it. But then on some of the ones that were closer to the hems, I could just crochet directly onto the fabric itself. And so it has like a different edging to it. And I kind of like that too. I tried to vary my stitch patterns quite a bit. I wanted to make it interesting and fun. And I did keep the original kind of tattered sense of what was inside. I just didn't want to fully trust the crochet to take all the weight of those pressure pieces. I did leave a few kind of scattered tatters here and there, but I did also just add a little kind of granny hexagon there on the pocket as well. So in terms of effectiveness, did I upscale or re-up or thread up? How do you want to say this? Did I rescue these threads with crochet? Well, you let me know what you think. I think I made a really good choice in going with that crochet thread. I use a size 3 steel hook. Really small, but effective. And yeah, I think it blends in fairly well. I do think that this was a good piece to rescue just because, to me, in my eyes, it was fairly unwearable with how those holes were placed. And now I think it'll be super cute. I can wear it with tights. I could wear it with a t-shirt. I could wear it in the spring or the summer when the weather gets warmer. Yeah, let me know what you think. What do you think of this process of rescuing something and kind of remaking it in crochet? Is that something that you've done before? Is it something that you're interested in? And what do you think would be good candidates for adding crochet to something to give it a new life? I'd love to hear in the comments below. Thank you so much to everyone who has commented, everyone who is so standardly wonderful. Y'all, I have the most fun checking in with y'all, hearing what's up, and connecting with y'all there in the comments section. I really do appreciate all the support for the channel. And if for whatever reason I'm not your cup of tea, thank you so much for listening this long. I do appreciate you, and I do hope I'll see you again soon.